Have I ever tried the Possibility Storm variants? Not in Modern, but I played some Possibility Storm decks in Pioneer. This is a turn 4 Emrakul with 2 remands. It's okay hand. So we do beat Infinite Life. We can, avoid milling by discarding Emrakul. The second Emrakul, we can just put the first Emrakul in play and eat their board every turn. Oh, yes. I don't know if I'm going to do a new text count. I'm going to do a prediction this league. I think we'll do a 3-2 or better prediction. Yeah, I feel like you could maybe do the delay one, but it's fine. Turn 2 Coco on the play. Pretty strong, but not a super fast clock here, at least. Probably want to fetch basic mountain here to take the least amount of damage as possible. I have so much mana. Wow, Yes is really, really taking it. Yeah, I have 5-0'd with a few ham sandwich donut decks. Definitely think it's possible for this one. It seems like we have a fine matchup in round 1. I don't think I really care about Spike Feeder, so I'll just remand it, but a spell I would have cared about, I would have delayed. Do I want to play around their last card being good or bad by playing Teferi bouncing Ooze? I think I'm just going to hold up delay. They could definitely just, also draw an impactful spell, and they have so much mana. Alright, their hand is Spike Feeder Mystery card. Spike Feeder just doesn't really matter, so I don't think we fight over it. Easy delay, though. Our draw definitely lined up well against theirs, but they've had a pretty good start. Mana Leak can't do that. Remand can't do that. Delay is the best 2-mana counterspell in Modern. We finally found the answer. After years of searching. Yeah, ban delay, honestly. Do I care that Feeder takes them over 15? Nope. You just keep attacking with Emrakul. In fact, I'd love for them to let me attack with Emrakul twice. It'd be very fun. Yeah, processors plus delay always, you get to feel like a genius every single time. Do I have any tips for the mana base? Yeah, the mana base is tough. I definitely acknowledge that. And I would say that as you play the deck, understanding how you sequence your lands becomes a bit more natural. But I agree. It's tough. There are some games you get to go for Ice Fang early, but it just understanding when you need blue green for Ice Fang early, double white for Skyclave, Cryptic Command mana. I do think the mana is functional. It's just sequencing your lands just takes some time to learn. Thoughts on Simian in the deck? Simian doesn't work because you still need to have 4 lands in play to have Dwarven Mine enter untapped. And so if you play Simian Spirit Guide, it's not like you can ramp out the combo because you need to have 4 lands in play anyways, and your payoff is 4 mana. So you can try to play Explore or Growth Spiral or the Unbeatable Arboreal Grazer, perhaps. But a ramp card like Spirit Guide or Mind Stone won't work. Oh yeah, you can't play Grazer. Because you polymorph into that. Oh yeah, also it also doesn't work because you can polymorph into Simian Spirit Guide. So double doesn't work. They asked if it was modern legal. That's awesome. Opponent has no attacks here. It's pretty good. Can get a blocker with a dwarf token here to block the ooze. We can just bounce the ooze. Could bounce and block. We could bounce the ooze and still have a blocker for Teferi. I don't know why my opponent's tanking here. I guess like they do have some stuff going on with Spike Feeder plus Conclave Mentor. I'm gonna attack though. And they have to gain enough life to not take 15 damage, so they have to double Spike Feeder, so they can't like move Spike Feeder counters around. And so they lose the Spike Feeder and then 6 permanents. Make your decisions, opponent. They will be futile against my Teferi Time Raveler. They can float mana the news. That's true. That's a cool line. Yeah. Good point. With Minter, they can remove a counter to add 2. Well, they don't have a way to put counters on the Spike Feeder. Well, they can remove a counter from Spike Feeder to put 2 counters on something, but not on itself. Don't Tef, leave up Remand. We can both Teferi and leave up Remand, right? Well, that was for... Opponent said sorry for the delay. I said same here. We can fetch and shock. Obviously, we'll make our decision after our opponent, takes their action. Don't feel like this was... How is this the line? Okay. Tank. Concede. Alright, these Hysterias seem not great. We replay 1. It's like giving their creatures haste seems so dicey to me. I'll play 1 though. It's like there are a lot of matchups where Hysteria is fine, but I feel like in matchups like this, just such a liability to have in your deck. I agree that if Need for Speed were legal, it'd be the card you'd want to play. I think with my version, I was playing 3 delay, 4 remand. I was also playing Omen. I just love Omen in these decks. I was playing Omen over Opt. Mr. Omen over Opt also makes a lot of sense if you want to play Chalice in your sideboard. Also, Valakut Awakening was pretty good. Although this is more of a spell because it's not a mounted for mine. We have the combo. The combo of delay and plus Teferi, not fetch land plus transmogrify. You board out Opt against Chalice decks. I don't know. So that's one thing I'm curious. Like, you say you board out Opt against Chalice decks, but you also have to board out these. So that's 7 cards for your Chalice decks. Oh, that's the wrong version. So it's like you have to board out the Opts against the Chalice decks, or when you bring in Chalice, you have to board out the Hysterias too. And so like you still have 4 lightning bolts when you're bringing in Chalice, but also like so against blue red, like I guess you can bring in like these 9 cards, but then you have remands that aren't very good against them, delay that aren't very good against them, and you still have all these 1-drops. I just don't understand. It feels like you just have it's like you can't sideboard out everything. Just don't know where there's room. Like you probably leave in bolts. You have bolts and Chalice, which is like a non-bow, but it's still just like so many cards, and you still have other bad cards in the matchup. Play a 3rd Conclave Mentor opponent. They're playing something. Yeah, I was playing Timelies too. I was playing the one, I think one timely main, one timely side. But that was also, there's like a lot of Swift Spears then. I guess there still are. Probably worth delaying, right? Can the bolts be 4 Helix? Maybe. It's just like, how on Chalice can you be? And also craters are better with, you know, Chalice. Had a good curve this game. Very good Anger of the Gods. If they Heliod, then we don't even need to worry about this one coming down. Cool. Delay also good against legendary creatures. I'm not gonna play around their last card being Path. They can't even Ballista kill me next turn, so they have to have Path here. Can delay with Wraith Stranger ever be a thing? It's been a thing. People have tried it. It's just like usually the decks that delay is good against is not the decks that Wasteland Strangler is good against. And so it's like in fact even a lot of decks just don't have targets for Wasteland Strangler. And so it's like you have to like bank on just your opponent's draw lining up well against yours, which just doesn't make it like, you know, a thing. Keep this. Definitely an interesting Hysteria hand. I think that we don't play it out on turn 1. Just play Bant and also play Queller and Path. Alright, deck is built. But also you have a black Wasteland Strangler, so... Oh boy, imagine playing out Hysteria against Naya Zoo. Oh my goodness. We have Izzet Charm though. Oh no, this does not play around a fetch land. I should have charmed earlier. Oh fuck. That's on me. Maybe they'll play the Elemental 2-drop and I'll just kill that. I'll kill that 2-drop then. Ugh. So many combos in this deck. Mass Hysteria is a premium in this matchup, speeds it up by a large margin. I don't know about that. Like, if we had played Mass Hysteria, I guess, I mean, it gives the Burning Tree haste, and then whatever they play this turn, including their 1-drop that we just bounced. It's like, yeah, it would have been 6 damage to us, which would put us dead. I guess not on board, huh? Speeds it up for my opponent. I see. Not that Craters would have been much different this game. Would have been a bit different. Can they deal 4 extra damage this turn? We can block their Hellhound. 4 is a lot more than 3, that's for sure. Look at the cards. Look at the cards. But if we play the Hysteria on 1, then we're dead. I think. They can't attack his command. At least not right now. I would have won with Hysteria. Was I not dead if I played Hysteria? If I play Hysteria on turn 1, I'm fetching and shocking twice, and then taking 6 more damage. So I believe I'm dead if I played Hysteria on turn 1. Play 1 over Remands. You thought I was going to play a turn 3, and I had the Teferi. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Chalice... They play a lot of 2-drops. You played on turn 3 with delay, never turn 1. Maybe. We won anyways. I just don't have the stones to play Mass Hysteria against the Naya Zoo deck, I guess. When I just bounced, I guess I wouldn't have bounced in that timeline. We drew an Emrakul. Can be nasty to draw the second, but I think we just keep Bolt plus turn 4 combo. If we draw like any interactive spell in between for turns 2 or 3, we're just in pretty good shape, I think. Not exactly an interactive spell. I'm gonna play around like an Atarkus command. Kind of cool to see this Naya Zoo pop up. I feel like I play against it like kind of often these days. Good sequencing. Get the landfall trigger. Oh, yeah, actually good sequencing. Anger of the Gods. Easily the best top deck. Yeah, a bit of a bummer. Just not draw anything. Probably, like, Emrakul is probably not enough next turn. Has 3 cards. Can we still draw Anger to win? I think we can. Or to survive. They keep discarding Lightning Bolts to Gallia. I think this is an overcommit by my opponent here. Alright, Anger of the Gods at the top. Nope. Pretty cool. I feel like on the play I'd rather have the second Remand, especially seeing that they boarded in Thalia. Keep this. We're getting basic mountain with this Arid Mesa. I know we have the Emrakul in our hand again, but like this is just like turn 1 interaction, turn 2 interaction, and very likely turn 4 combo. Just not something I think you can mulligan. Yeah. No, I don't think Chalice is good against them. They have a ton of 2-drops, and it's, I don't know. Can be slow. It's like better against the Prowess variants. I do, you know, if we draw the second Emrakul, things go bad, but we just won't draw. It'll be fine. Bolt, Remand, Transmogrify. See, we're not going to draw Emrakul here. We're not going to draw it next turn either. I don't think I need to bolt that. It's going to get a Triome. Alright. No Emrakul here. Awesome. Cool. Be really cool though if my opponent brought in Gutshot. Yeah, I mean, we have 2 Izzet Charm in the deck, but you know, like I know we have outs if we draw the second Emrakul, but it's not like we're in good shape if it happens. We can also play around Deflecting Palm by playing Teferi pre-combat. And like I don't think it's likely that they have Deflecting Palm, but I do think if they don't concede, that's maybe the most likely card that they could have. I wonder if it's possible to die here. Okay, not anymore. Oh, maybe. Dwarven Mine, another terrible mistake from Eldraine. I don't know. I think this deck's neat. I think this deck's really cool. Feels kind of a bit aggressive to call it a terrible mistake. Ironcrag Feet plus Ignite Memories. It's funny. Alright, opponent has 2 cards, 1 more mana. Is there anything in the whole game that kills us here? I guess like just giving their Brushfire Elemental Death Touch with like a Viper is gets them out of this. Just like the Blood Rush Death Touch Viper. Not that they would ever play that realistically, but that's a card. We keep this hand? Probably we can. Would really like to draw an untapped land in the top 2 cards. Not the end of the world if we don't. We just keep keeping hands with Emrakul. Yeah, the new Tibalt split card looks really cool. People keep coming in and they just everyone wants to bully Tibalt, but the card seems fine. It's like it's neither half is super powerful, but it's versatile. A fine standard deck. Oh boy. Inspiring Vantage, probably not the land we wanted to see. Oh, that's a good draw. This will let us go Remand into delay, so certainly hoping for no Eidolon. I haven't seen the frames either. Triple one mana creature on the play would be really tough to beat, and this is also going to be tough to beat on the draw. Maybe I'll find a bolt. Remand on the top, just in time. If Tibalt like somehow ends up being like this huge force in Modern, that'd be awesome. Coming for revenge after everybody made fun of him for forever. Yeah, they're just holding up burn spell here. If I fetch, they're gonna cast it. They're gonna need to delay it. 7 mana is a bit much, but it's also, it can be, if it's too much, you spend 2 mana, you know? That's the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be 7 mana. It's like you're making it's a 2 mana creature most of the time, but you can just, you just top deck and oh, yeah, 7 mana Planeswalker. Yeah, Hysteria would have been a good draw this turn, exactly. Why didn't you discard Emrakul? Oh, that was a mistake. Oops. Stealing info, yeah. Although, yeah, this is also not very likely to work, but we just have to hope our opponent has nothing somehow. Not that that's a possibility. Yeah, Hysteria deck doesn't do it if they just have a burn spell. Yeah, this is a big part of the reason why I like just sideboarding into Jeskai Nihiri when I built the deck, is instead of trying to beat the burn spells on your tokens, you just make the burn spells on your tokens bad. And then you still just have the Dwarven Mines in your deck for value. Do you think we're bringing in the Chalice? Defense Grid is kind of interesting. I don't think I'm bringing it in, though. I'm going to probably keep in the bolts, or maybe 3 bolts. Can probably trim a Transmogrify. Remand's also pretty bad. White Ley Lane plus Through the Breach. You can do the Through the Breach plan. What I don't like about the Through the Breach plan is that it's more sideboard cards, because it requires you to play like Through the Breaches and extra Emrakuls in your sideboard, while Nihiris are just 4 cards. And Nihiri's like you're already a control deck, and so like you just are Jeskai Nihiri against these decks. I'm not pretending like Jeskai Nihiri is some great archetype, but I feel like it's got some game. I'm gonna shock a Stevens here. Good draw on the Emrakul. Nihiri is way too bad and slow and just dies early. I tried it. I don't know. I believe that you had bad experiences with it, but I also tried it and thought she was good when I played her. Like I was pretty happy with her when I played her. I didn't have like so many leagues, and there's some tension in the deck building too. Should have shocked Foundry. Oh, sorry, I thought this was the Jeskai Triome. Now it's on me. I thought I was done doing that. Yeah, I was thinking this was Jeskai. Yep, oops. Yeah, I was a big fan of Jessica Nahiri back in the day. Yeah, I don't really feel like we can afford to... I don't feel like we can afford to go for the combo here. I'm just going to hold up Remand this turn. I also don't really want to fetch and shock. Especially when we don't need the Teferi to come down until next turn for like delay purposes. I think I'm remanding. Yeah, this game is pretty different if I get Jeskai Triome. Does Deflecting Palm work considering Annihilator? You just cast a response to the Annihilator trigger. Does work. I'm gonna let Skullcrack resolve. I think Helix is okay too. Yeah, Chalice is, you know, it's looking good. Although, like, I think that if you play Chalice, you probably have to build the rest of your deck differently. Like, at least play Omen over Opt, I beg you. And, like, you can maybe play Helix over Lightning Bolt, too. And then actually have, like, 3 Chalices in your sideboard and have it be, like, your main plan. Well, you can cast Deflecting Palm in your opponent's upkeep, you know, whenever, but they're not going to attack with their Emrakul if you cast it in their upkeep. So, like, they're not going to attack with whatever you choose until after they attack. So that's why you do it in response to Annihilator. Weird concession. Yeah, if you like really think Chalice is good in this deck, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me to play all these 1-drops. And also, like, Footfall Craters is a 1-drop that you can cycle and doesn't get countered by Chalice. Which is, again, I really am in the Footfall Craters lobby, mister. Please. I'm lobbying for you. Yeah, and Chalice counters your opponent's removals on your own creatures. So you could even play main deck Chalice potentially if you know. Could like main deck 2, side 2. I'm gonna keep this, I think. Yeah, Chalice like does stop like the weird, you know, electro dominance and stuff like that, but that's like not a super big deal, I think. Are we cutting the Hysterias because of Chalice? I mean, it's a combination of Chalice and like giving your opponents Eidolon haste. And it's also not like it's not a very reactive card, but it's I think mostly for Chalice of the Void. Just, you know, it's not super good to like have Chalice of the Void end 1-drops. Yeah, it's like our 4th game in a row with just having an Emrakul in the hand, which is fine. Just believe you won't draw the other one if the rest of the hand is fine. I think you're supposed to do that. Yeah, speeding up the clock is relevant. I'll definitely agree there. But I think you're supposed to lean more on Teferi than Hysteria too, because they have so many burn spells for your token. So hopefully they tap out for Eidolon again next turn, and then we get to delay or gust it, and then draw one of our mini Dwarven Mines to get them. Opponent should do this I guess they're playing around Force of Negation by Charming now. Not sure how relevant their life total is. They put the Eidolon on top, so so now we'll remand it to give us 2 looks at a dwarf. I think they probably should have bottomed the Eidolon. Man, we have so many dwarf tokens that we didn't draw one. Don't have a. This is not the Jeskai Triome. That's another thing. I also don't think the green splash is good. I think that you probably just want to be straight Jeskai. You need to play 2 Triomes. Jeskai Triomes, your mana just feels much better, I think. Gust. I would love for them to just replay it. That's why I want a Gust. One more look here. They put it on the bottom this time. Unfortunate. Do you play around lightning bolts? It has to be exactly bolts. We have two polymorphs in our hand. If they bolt, that's like a burn spell that's not going at our face. The green splash is just for Veil of Summer in the sideboard, which I just don't think is good enough. I mean, I have played these matchups, Mister. I've played, you know, like 15 matches of the deck like within the last few weeks. Like I know Veil is a good card, but I think that more consistent mana without like is more important too. Your mana base is also less painful. Down to 6. No, I think Silence sucks. Let's play Dispel. Go for it? I feel like going for it is bad. I think I'm just going to Anger and then hold up. Mana. Also, if they kill this dwarf token, we can't combo anymore. Because this is... I would also play 4 mines. The 4th mine has been relevant for me. Okay, they're playing Teferi. So I think that we want to get a Triome and get a Time Raveler into play. This is bad against Boros Charm because they can put us down to 1 and then we can't fetch anymore. But it's like very good with the delay and against the Rift Bolts. And good if they're holding up like Searing Blaze. So let's play this. I think I'm going to use Izzet Charm here because delay is just such high value. Let's draw a card. It's a good draw. I think we're going to win this game. I'll force over Eidolon if or over delay, of course. Yeah, it's very shutting off suspend cards. Definitely does not feel like the intended purpose of the card. There's the 3rd Dwarven Mine. Looks like you guys are getting your channel points. This doesn't do anything, right? Yeah, I think that you could go on a more heavy Chalice build, but just play Craters, Omen of the Sea, and Helix, and then like you could main deck some Chalice. Oh, Chalice confirmed bad. Yeah, I know we could have bounced our own Chalice. It's fine. Yeah. It seems like it's also going to be the plot of this Magic set. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get converted to your style just because I 5-0 Mister. Like, I think all the criticisms I've made of the list have been pretty valid, despite the fact that we've won anyways. You know, like I've wanted the 4th Dwarven Mine. The Chalice plan has been awkward. You know, I think it's pretty results oriented to say, oh, we 5-0'd anyway. The critiques were irrelevant. I'll do a prediction for the 5-0 if we win this one. Give you guys a bit of an edge. Well, it looks like some boil-proof mana base over there. I guess, yeah, we can get the Temur Triome, it's fine. Yeah, probably a Veil matchup. What do I think of the Foretell Time Squawk? I haven't seen it. I've been streaming this whole time. I haven't been looking at spoilers. I see whatever spoiler people link in chat, and that's it. I'm not allowed to leave my box. Yeah, I think with our hand of just all polymorphs, we just need to start jamming. I also didn't fetch there because if we drew like a mountain or a steam vents, we could get another dwarf. Did I see the Nico Eris link? Maybe earlier? If you just sent it, I missed it. We could take a break maybe after this league and just go through spoilers. You also have to have a bolt. I think we play 4. Yeah. I saw the card. It's interesting. Seems like it'll probably be a good standard card. I don't know about modern. Yeah, shard tokens are clue tokens that also you scry 1, but they're clue tokens, but also you scry 1, but they don't. They do tap when you do it, so you can't like tap them for mana for Urza to themselves. Yeah, I think it's a really appropriate power level card. That's the card we want to resolve. Yeah, they're like token ops. They're better. Well, they're not strictly better than clues if you have Urza, like Urza in play, something that cares about the things not needing to tap. I'm just gonna jam. Our hand is like not one that can play very reactively. Oh, they're enchantments. I didn't realize that. I thought they were artifacts. I missed that. I don't really see the reason to play out the Hysteria, because we just have, you know, enough mana to do it all in one go. I haven't changed the title. Refresh, I have changed the title. I'm like 90% sure. I've been streaming this deck for like an hour, and you're the first person to say something. So, feeling moderately confident. Yeah, I definitely can't play with hers if they're enchantments. Oh wait, you can coding them. You can play Mycon's Lattice to make all of your whatever these are called tokens. I guess that was the reason to play the Hysteria, huh? So if we play Hysteria, we're like Teferi dice to snap bolts, but we can opt into a fetch land. I just really don't want it to die to snap bolts. If they had Snapcaster, they would have not played it though. Alright. Wait, why is Lattice not legal? It's just a 6-mana dopey artifact. Well, we can opt, but if we opt, then we can't Teferi unless we hit a land. If they have another Kiki, we're dead. Don't play it. I think it was good to play it here. Because now if we find a Dwarven Mine off opt, we win. We just haven't been on the same page at all. No, you need to play it so that way you can opt into the Dwarven token. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Like I said when I cast it last turn. Karn the Great Creator? Sounds like an interesting card. It's your pet card. Genius. Genius joke. We have so many dwarfs. Yeah, finally found one. Yeah, if it's a oh, we drew one Emrakul. If it's a Karn, then it probably costs like 1,000 mana, right? They're all 7 mana. I mean, Tybalt is the new premier 7 mana planeswalker though. Thanks, Doom. So Force is necessary to stop their boils because we do play a lot of islands. Hysteria doesn't really do much against them. Like they play Crackling Drake. Boy. Probably want to have like 3 bolts to stop their combo. Izzet Charm also stops their combo. You can play 2 Force. Could cut one of these. I think that's fine. Just cut one of these. You want to keep the Polymorphs for Force too. I don't think Gust is good in this matchup. Maybe I'm wrong, but like they have so many more blue cards in red, and like Crackling Drake isn't even very good in the matchup because they tap out for it. We just put an Emrakul into play. Does this list need Charm? This list needs to play all mountains for Dwarven Mine. So having do you mean Izzet Charm? I don't like the Izzet Charms. This is again a Dono deck. I've played and built this list in the past. I would build something close to this. I think there's even a YouTube video of this. There's a lot of different directions to go, but I liked kind of this version where you side into Nahiri, you don't splash green, you play 4 mines, you play craters, play Omen. You play I think only 7 of these is like also where you want to be, but I do think Transmogrify is better than Creativity. If you have artifacts on the sideboard for sure, and also if you are worried about Grafdigger's Cage. I'm gonna keep this. Yeah, I just don't think you need necessarily wait. You have to naturally draw both Emrakuls, which isn't very likely, and Izzet Charm is just kind of is very flexible but not very powerful. Creativity is cage proof but not Transmogrify. I thought it was the other way around. If I'm wrong, then adjust my arguments. Well, Faithless Looting is back, baby. If we can go Teferi plus Veil next turn, it's pretty powerful. Just like I think it's worth main phasing this, and we can. I think we put back one of these and probably the second Veil. I think I'd rather keep second Teferi over second Veil. And I'll play the Sacred Foundry just in case my opponent's like holding on to Boil. Yeah, I understand that Charm can loot away both Emrakuls. I get it, but I don't think it's I don't think that flexibility is worth the sacrifice in power level, which I thought I said, but maybe not. Kiki Goryo. Dude, I've been thinking about it. I don't know if I would go with this, like the living end plan though. But I'd probably do this as a dono deck. Sometimes I definitely will put an argument out, and I definitely I can feel myself like skipping parts of my argument. It's something like my English teacher in high school called me out for, where I'll just assume that people are already like on the same page with me about a certain thing, and then I'll just kind of skip like a step in the thought process. So certainly call me out when I'm doing that, because I remember my English teacher in high school calling me out for it, and it's something I've noticed it's something I've noticed my whole life. It's like a weakness I have. I do not, big modern guy. But it sounds like you really liked Blue Red Phoenix. I mean, my opponent's deck does not usually play Force of Negation. We'll just kind of see if they have one by bolting here. Yeah, but Faithless Looting, even if you ban all the dredge cards, would immediately be the best card in the format. And so it's pretty funny to... I doubt that was a serious suggestion, but the idea of unbanning Faithless Looting, banning Stinkwood Ape and Creeping Chill, so you're unbanning a card to ban two, and the card you've unbanned is probably the best card in the format, even after those two cards are gone. Maybe not the best card, but very close to it. It's kind of silly to me. Don't have a second blue if they have a Remand. They have a Snare. Okay. So we've already killed one of their Kikis. If they have land plus untapped land plus Kiki Jiki, they can still win. Also, Joe Lightning Bolt too, even if they have that. Yeah, man. Spike, it's your English teacher here. I can't understand. My brain is too small. All I heard was unbanned Faithless Looting. Sick. You could also polymorph the Exarch, but that goes wrong so often. I'll play the fourth bolt. Did they bottom or top with the odds? I don't know. It doesn't matter to look, right? Like if we look, we have nothing we can react with, and we're just attacking with Emrakul next turn anyways. So I don't really see the point of looking. Yeah, if we unban Faithless Looting, Mardu Pyromancer immediately becomes the best deck in the format, and I just couldn't deal with it. Just like the smartest, handsomest Magic players ever, they cast their discard spell and rip my hand apart. And then they cast Young Pyromancer on turn 2, and I'd look at my Fatal Push in my graveyard. I'd be utterly helpless against the Young Pyromancer. And then on turn 3, they'd push their glasses up, and then they cast Faithless Looting. They trigger Young Pyromancer. They discard Lingering Souls, and then they'd flashback Lingering Souls, triggering Young Pyromancer again. And they have 4 1/1 tokens and a 2/1 creature, and they get to attack for 2. And I'm just sitting here helpless constantly. So I'm glad that they banned Faithless Looting to stop Mardu Pyromancer. It was getting out of control. Were you talking about me? Yes, I was, Nick. You see this as a joke? I don't know what I said that could be construed in any way as a joke, but everything I've said has been completely genuine. Yeah, and then they Blood Moon me with their perfect mana. Yeah, Arclight Phoenix was a great deck. Everybody loved it. But, you know, life moves on. Life moves on. Cultivating a ban list to make your pet deck or your favorite deck back on top again is just an incredibly biased and kind of unreasonable way to approach things. And not really something I recommend. And also, if your like entire philosophy is make my pet deck good again, if that's your ban list philosophy, we just can't have productive combos. I might cycle a Veil here. I'm gonna opt first. See like how bad I draw. Yeah, we need some action here. If you don't have any spell to protect, Veil gets a lot worse. Alright, that's a spell to protect. I think we get Sacred Foundry to play around Boil, and we can still play Teferi with Veil up. Perfect. Could Fires of Invention work in Modern? I've played it like taking turns before, and it's like fine there. It's like not super great elsewhere, I think. Putting missing land drops is good for us. Don't really see how my opponent gets out of this. Fires of Invention equals Maze's End. Well, I'm listening. You had my curiosity, and now you have my attention. We're 4-0, baby. Was that low-key shit at my mod? No, that was like, Dalton's like a good friend of mine. Taught me how to play Magic. Did some co-commentary with me during the sub-only tournament, for those of you who have been around that long. And Dalton, like, you know, works, that has the stream on, so like isn't doing modding really, I think. I'm just gonna put back the mine. We're paired against someone that's 1-0. We have the combo. Dude, we have like the best hand against Bad Nauseam possible. It's kind of unreal. I guess we have Force of Negation in our deck too, but it's a good matchup. I think we might be getting trophy number 23. I really just ban people who have different opinions. Awesome. Yeah, how do we do on the predictions? What's the... Where are the odds? Oh, people are believers. Maybe a bit bad to use such strongly worded language in the prediction. Magical bet all their channel points. I think we've got a good matchup. I think you guys got a good chance to get there. How many points did you bet Magical? Dalton was gonna ban all bet 300,000 on no. How many do you have, Dalton? You have like 500k, right? 400k, something like that. Can't remember what you told me last time. $350, dude. That's such a crazy investment. I mean, they're also made up. You know, they don't have like a ton of weight, and I do think using them for fun is ultimately the best line, since that's all that they're really good for is fun. And we have an Emrakul. I feel like every time I've been in channel point predictions, I've gone all in. Like, I lost probably 100,000 channel points on Hob going all in, but I did make some back. I made some back right before the last run, and then I went all in and lost. So I have like no channel points in the Happy Hobbs channel. Is there any chance we die here? They could have Simian Spirit Guide, land, spoils. They have Simian Spirit Guide, Pinhead Prism, land, spoils, Angel's Grace. That's his Oracle, right? It's like perfect 7 cards, and so like minusing to draw Force is why we would minus, and we drew one. So if they have just like an actual perfect hand, we win, or we don't die. Yeah, we drew the Force, so it would feel very vindicated here. But I do think it's just good. It's just good to minus anyways, looking for Force, in my opinion. Especially because you kind of want to plus Teferi next turn anyways to Transmogrify. So I keep like banging my cup on the desk. I'm just gonna put it over here. I would love to get paid off for this play, but I don't really expect that to happen. That's cool, Emma. Brian's got 500,000. Halfway. Do we concede to Phyrexian on life? I guess we can keep playing. Could be close. Yeah, Spirit plus Grace plus Spoils plus Oracle Prism. Yeah, they don't play Manamorphose, but Prism works. I mean, I guess they sometimes they play like one Manamorphose. But I don't think it's very common. If I'd known we were big against Bad Nauseam, you would have voted no. I think we have a fine matchup where we have 4 Teferis and 3 Force of Negations and 6 2-mana counterspells. Yeah, this freaking scam callers calling, and now my music stopped. Pain in the ass. Is there a 1 million channel point redemption? There has not been one. I have the options. You can either make me play standard, or you can make a life decision, or I'll make a life decision for you. You know, manage your expectations, though. Dude, speaking of scam calls, I don't think I've told this story, but I was going to the store a couple days ago, and I go out to my car for the first time in like 4 days or something, because I never leave the house. And there's a sticky note on my window that said, "It's time for you to call me," and a phone number. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, is this like some insane Magic player? Is this I've got a, some friends with some mental issues, and I don't know if it's like one of them or if it's like an ex-girlfriend or something, which there's like no way it would be, but I was freaking out. I'm like, I have no idea what this is. And so I called the number after Googling it and not finding anything, not finding it in my contacts. And I call, and some lady answers, and she's like, "Oh, hello, who's this?" And I'm like, "You tell me, there's a sticky note on my door with your phone number." And she goes, "Oh, hi there. I noticed some hail damage on your car. Would you be interested in getting that repaired?" And I said, "Are you crazy leaving sticky notes on people's windows? You scared the shit out of me. Don't advertise with sticky notes, and don't call me again." And I hung up on her. It was crazy. I was so mad. Who does that? Who puts random sticky notes on people's windows? So mad. Just like, at least have some shitty laminated ad, right? At least have some shitty laminated ad. Like, how is that ever gonna work, you know? It worked, I called, but I also yelled at her, so I don't know. Like how do they see that conversation going, you know? I don't think like getting calls matters when like nobody is ever gonna, you know? Like, wouldn't you want a call where they're actually gonna call to get like their car repaired? Like, wouldn't you want to just filter those out with the ad instead of getting random angry calls? But what do I know? This is definitely a Hysteria matchup. Finally found one. Veilstop's Pact. That was also kind of awkward to have Pact and Chalice. So they're probably going to Chalice on... I guess Chalice on 1's pretty good against them, and 0's fine as well. Play Gust for Veil. Defense Grid. I've never taken a marketing class. Esther has a marketing degree, though. She didn't tell me that that was normal. Do I have a crazy ex-wife who put sugar in my gas tank? No. But I have woken up to my this was like 7 years ago, but I did wake up one time and my like back shield window was just absolutely busted out. And like I was working construction at the time, and like I called in and I was like, "Hey, I can't come into work because my windshield's all busted. I need to go get that fixed." And they're like, "You pissed off your girlfriend." They all made the same hilarious joke, but which it wasn't true, by the way. But they didn't let me live it up or live it down. Do we play Hysteria here? I think we can play Hysteria. Seems actually kind of good to me. I thought you decided football craze. I did decide that, but this is a dono deck. But we're also, playing for 5-0 up a game. But I feel like most of the time Hysteria would have been better as creators. There have been some exceptions. I also think if you want to play Hysteria instead, maybe just play like 2 or 3. I don't think you need to play 4. But I'm just a puppet. Just a puppet. I have all strings on me. Maybe I just have so baited myself with the Hysteria 2 this game. Where I should have just played my Triome on turn 1, Triome into Charm into Teferi. You know what? I actually think I'm just going to opt. If we draw Teferi, we counter the bloom, we can bounce the Unlife. Okay. Still don't think I'm forcing Unlife. I'll maybe force the bloom, but we could also just draw a fetch land and Teferi bounce the Unlife. Dwarven Mine, okay. So, am I going to force this bloom? I maybe. I think I am. Would Rug with Rin and 6 be worth trying over Jeskai with Teferi? No, Teferi is so important in this deck because it stops them from killing your token. It's hard to overstate how important that is. They can cast the bloom. What do you mean? Over forcing a payoff? I mean, the thing is, if we don't force this, and they just don't cast the payoff, because if their payoff is ad nauseum, they won't do it immediately. They can kill us at instant speed with ad nauseum and Angel's Grace. In fact, I think I'm just going to counter unless they pay 2. If this is good enough to stop them, it stops them now. But if they have ad nauseum, they just go to their end of turn, and then we're in bad shape. You know what I mean? But if we Izzet Charm here, it's pretty unlikely for them to be able to kill us now. Although definitely possible. I guess they just need a land. But a lot of their lands that are tapped at this point in the game. But the ad nauseum deck wins at instant speed. And they're also dead if we untap too, so if we could just stop them this turn, we throw an Emrakul at them and then they can't pay for Pact. They do have an untapped land, so we're dead to ad nauseum. Is it trying being flexible again and also losing us the game? If it was just a different 2-mana counter spell. Every time Izzet Charm gets cast, Mr. Fister, Izzet Charm being flexible again. Yeah, I saw the 4-color Lucci control deck popping around. Alright. I'll see if they have any, like, juice, but we're dead. Yeah, lost the game flexibly. Yeah, I think we probably win the game if we just don't get debated by the Hysteria. It's probably on me, huh? I'm gonna keep this. Chalice on 1 into Teferi is a pretty good curve. Could have also tried to loot into force blue cards. Yeah, no card can lose you the game in as many ways as Izzet Charm. It's a great review. Not play, yeah. The triumph. You just play the triumph on turn 1, but we drew the Hysteria, and I got debated into trying to like draw perfectly and win. Can't imagine them not taking this. Or maybe you can. Maybe this is gonna be great against their hand. Chalice on 0 also stops Pact of Negation. Kind of nice. Yeah, Pact and Bloom. Yeah. But turning off Spoils, Angel's Grace, Thoughtseize, Veil of Summer. Although those start off a lot of our own 1-drops. Don't think we need to run out the other Chalice yet. Like, they can't Thoughtseize this away. We're not afraid of a Lotus Bloom or a Pact right now. Prism. Yeah, I have an Emrakul in an insane number of these hands. They suspend a Bloom. Okay. Well, let's play this out on 0. They can't Pact this. Right? Like, I mean, they can Pact and then they die to Angel's Grace, so they have to like have a Simian Spirit Guide and pay with their Prism. Hopefully we draw Izzet Charm. Or draw 10 lands. Really don't want to see Phyrexian Unlife. They also could definitely just value ad nauseum here. Could certainly be a game for that. You know, could also draw Teferi, or Polymorph, or Transmogrify. Just put an Emrakul into play. We could also draw the second Emrakul, which would be the worst draw. It is also nice that they... I kind of feel like they have a Pact of Negation. But it's turned off, and their Lotus Bloom's turned off, and their 1-drops are turned off. They're making white mana to Unlife. Okay, so we gotta draw some interaction, probably. Alright, Dwarf Token beat down. Probably not gonna get there, huh? Feels bad. What's up with the Chalice on 0? My opponent has Lotus Bloom and Pact of Negation. Suspended Bloom and Pact of Negation probably in their hand. They already had enough mana to kill us with ad nauseum here. I mean, we don't really have decisions to make here, right? We just like draw our card and figure out what's up then. I think one of my opponent's 2 cards are Pact of Negation, like just like feeling how they've paused and stuff. So it's possible they just don't have ad nauseum. And I think that's just the plan, right? Just put an Emrakul into play here. Make them have it. Is there arguments for bouncing one of the challenges for X equals 2? I don't even know what you mean by bouncing. But I think it's better to play the Chalice on 0 here. We have a lot of 2-drops in our deck. We have a ton of really interactive 2-drops. And Chalice on 2 only stops Pinside Prism and Thassa's Oracle, and Thassa's Oracle is also, the combo of Thassa's Oracle is stopped with the Chalice stopping Spoils of the Vault, so no. And they also suspended the Bloom, you know. If I drew Teferi, I mean, maybe we could have crossed that theoretical bridge when we cross it, or come to it, but no, probably. Not with the Chalice on 1 in play. Like, maybe you could Chalice on 3. If you have Chalice on 1 and Chalice on 3 and they don't have Unlife in play, then, like, there's maybe something there, right? Yeah, they can win with Ad Nauseam here, and they didn't go for it last turn, but they also like didn't really need to. But I do feel like they have a Pact of Negation, a mystery card. This is probably the mystery card. I guess I could have made a dwarf, but who cares? They let me take a draw step, so I don't think that they have it. Like, if they have Ad Nauseam, they should have casted it before I got to draw a card. They don't have it. So we win. Because I just can't see... They can't come back from this, right? No, 2 cards in their hand. Yeah, I love that this deck is just... It is a 1-card combo. It's very, very powerful. Trophy 23, baby. Feeling pretty good. Opponent was 1-0. MTG bot told us.